All right. One more thing I'd like to mention back here in Maya is what this Mannequin export function is doing. Now, because it's a bit of a black box, since the output, the resulting FBX is so different than what we're seeing in here. Now, if you need more control, or you need to understand the steps that's happening in this function, that there is options for that. And let's take a quick look at that. So if we go into body, under the Unreal Joints section, here we can manually do the steps that's automatically done by the Mannequin export. You'll notice there's a button at the top that says read this first, and it's just a warning. And that comes down to why there is the Mannequin export button, because essentially if you run these steps one by one, you no longer have a fully valid advanced skeleton rig that is able to use all the advanced skeleton functions such as rebuild, etc. But if you do a lot of exporting to Unreal, it's good to know what it is and how it works. So we can do the steps here. First, create. That's going to create the skeleton, and it has the same option here. You want to scale to match. So we can do just that step. And if we open the outline, you see that there's the Unreal Mannequin structured skeleton here, which is quite different from the advanced skeleton, and both in naming conventions or joint orientations. And the other thing is that the Unreal skeleton comes from Unreal that doesn't have joint orients, so it means even in default pose there are rotation values. So you can see that, like here for example, the shoulder of the Unreal skeleton is actually called upper arm, and it has all these rotation values by default. So it's quite a different skeleton. But here it adds a skeleton, and it constrains that skeleton to the advanced skeleton. So we now have an advanced skeleton rig with the Unreal Mannequin skeleton following. The next step is, because you are not able to FBX export this, because the geometry is still bound to the advanced skeleton. So you're going to need to transfer skinning. And now we have the Unreal Mannequin style of skeleton and the geometry out in the root level. So if you were to select both these two at this point, you could do a FBX export, and you should end up with the same result that if you use the Mannequin export. The catch is now that because you've done this manually, now the advanced skeleton rig is no longer going to be able to, for example, rebuild. If you were to try to hit toggle fit advantage, you can see the fit skeleton is still much smaller and not matching. If you were to actually run rebuild, that's just gonna completely make a mess of the rig. So to summarize, the Mannequin export automatically does the following. It runs this step, create a Mannequin skeleton. It does the transfer skinning. It then writes the FBX file, and it then reverts your rig back to a fully functioning advanced skeleton rig. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.